And we'll give you 5 things that if you do all of these, I'm telling you, they're right here, okay? If you do all of these, you will have a massive 2021. These are specific things that I've implemented into my business, several businesses, companies, right? We have several companies doing in excess of $1 million per year. I used to dream of doing 7 figures. I like you do, because only 4% of companies ever do 7 figures a year. All 5 of these have helped me get there, and I know they can help you get there too, okay? So the first one is you need to start setting higher targets. Most people, they think, okay, I wanna make 100K, I wanna make $500,000, I wanna make $1 million, whatever, and they set the target, okay? But it's not high enough, it's not big enough, so it doesn't motivate them, it doesn't challenge them, it doesn't pull them in that direction. So instead, you need to stop setting dinky little targets. You gotta start setting massive freaking targets. It's January the 2nd, second day of the new year. I was in there building a bunch of ads and stuff for the Texas training tour, which I'm excited to do. If you're in Texas, I'm coming to you in about 10 days, okay? January 13th through the 16th. First one is set higher targets, all right? I wanna ask you, what type of targets are you setting? Are they big enough? Are you setting realistic targets? Because if you are setting realistic targets, that is your problem. I'm telling you, anytime I've set realistic, attainable target. Now they need to be measurable, but when they're realistic and attainable per se to you or to other people, that's what's got me in trouble in the past. Okay, and that's what's getting you in trouble, and that's why your revenue is not freaking spiking, is because you're setting realistic, attainable targets. They gotta be freaking so big that they challenge you, they motivate you, they jack you up, and you come freaking batteries included, ready to conquer. Okay, so set higher targets, right? 2 is focus on revenue, not expenses. Okay, the problem I used to make is I would focus so much on expenses and money we were spending. I mean, we'll spend total companies over, I would say, really close to $500,000 a month now. I'm talking offices, payroll, commissions, expenses, software, yada, 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 right? And I'm telling you, I used to focus so much on expenses that I would forget to focus on revenue. The target is revenue. You grow the top line of your company, of your agency, and I promise you, everything else will come, right? Because if you chase, do you want to chase your expenses to the bottom, or do you want to chase your revenue to the top? I want to focus on chasing my revenue to the top. Now, I'm not saying you need to have a lot, you need to have get it over your head and have tons of expenses and just bury yourself in debt and all that sort of stuff, right? Because you need to make some smart decisions along the way. But if I had to focus on one or the other, I can promise you I'd focus on revenue instead of expenses. Anytime I've focused on raising that top line revenue, I've done more in sales. I've done more in revenue. I've made more money. I've become more profitable by focusing on actually selling. Most people don't come into their business focused on making sales every single day. I'm telling you, you need to show up and focus on revenue. Focus on driving sales. Focus on making sales. Customer calls in for customer service, sell them something else, right? Customer calls in to cancel, don't let them cancel that and upsell them something else, right? You need to be so focused on freaking revenue and sales that nothing else matters. I tell my salespeople every single day, when you come in and you work and you go home, if you did not make a sale today, then why the freak did you show up? What was the point in coming to work today? The point is you need to be focused on sales. Every single day, it's driving sales. That's it. You're a salesperson. That's your job. I don't care. I mean, a lot of PNC agencies, even the customer service person, the assistant, the person answering the phone, whatever, sells, cross-selling, referrals, upselling. Oh, let me set an appointment, right? Revenue and sales minded, sales focused. Okay, number 3. These are big, by the way. Don't leave me now. Stay with me. Okay. Number 3, maximize your work of your team members. Most people listen to their team members. Okay. Every employee you ever ask, if you ask, hey, are you busy? Yeah, I'm busy. I got this, and this. I'm staying busy, right? Do not ask your employees if they're busy. When my team members say that they've got a lot on their plate and they're busy, guess what? I give them something else to do. Okay, every team member, if you got a team, is going to say they're busy. Okay, maximize the work of your team. Do not add people, add projects to the same person. I'm telling you, most people do not maximize the workload of their team. Now we got a ton of employees, right? But we are focused on maximizing the team we have before we start stacking on additional people. Okay, that's a big mistake for a lot of people is they think, okay, I need to just hire a bunch of people. Well, I love hiring, I love expanding, I love that mindset, but far too often the team I have could do more. The team I have could stay 10 minutes later. The team I have could come in 10 minutes earlier. The team I have could come in on the weekends. The team I have could work faster with the projects they are doing, right? That's like one of our video editors. If they're like slower than the other one, then they need to learn how to work faster, okay? That's part of the game, right? So maximize the work of your team members. Number 4 is most people aren't focusing the 80%, at least 80% of your time on prospecting. Most people are focused on drinking coffee and going to the bathroom and talking to other team members and other employees or other agents or whatever. Or, oh, I got to answer emails, or I got to check my calendar or my schedule, or I've got to do this, handle this claim, or mail out this policy, or check a work pending all day, like all this other stuff, right? You need to focus 80% of your time on prospecting. Forget all this other nonsense and focus on prospecting and getting the job done. I'm telling you, this will make sure that you end up with more sales and revenue and money. That's the name of the game, right? Money than you've ever had before. But before you can do that, guess what? You have to focus 80+% of your time on prospecting, going after the next sell. Stop focusing so much on the current sell, the previous sell, and go get another customer. Go get another sell. Your team and you need to be focused on prospecting. Me, I'm focused on freaking promoting and prospecting every single day. Video is a form of promotion and prospecting for me. It may not be for you, but it is for me, okay? And it probably is for you too. Doing this Texas training tour. I'm going to Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, and Austin, January 13th to the 16th. If you're in Texas, go to CodyAskins.com/tour to sign up, okay? It's free for the first 100. I'm also doing, I'm doing 1% mastermind. I'm doing a retreat in Mexico. I'm doing a Miami mastermind in Miami. Like, I'm doing all this stuff, right? But I'm constantly promoting and prospecting. I got a sales team. They're making dials. They're required to make at least 75 to 80 dials every single day. They're focused on prospecting. What is your team focused on throughout the day? Focus 80% of your time on prospecting, okay? And I promise you, you'll end up making sales, right? Number 5 on this, have short-term targets. This one, you're going to want to stay with me and listen to this one, because most people, they get confused on this one specifically. I have short-term goals, right? So this Texas training tour, as an example, we just released it I think we released it on Wednesday, so it's been like 3 days ago. And it's on January the 13th, right? So we released it literally 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks before the actual event. Most people would say that's way too late. We're gonna freaking pump and push and maximize all the time and all the energy we have into a small time window. And I'm telling you, you'll push harder on those targets and you'll do more and you get more creative and your whole team will be pushing forward more if you set short-term targets. I was telling my wife this morning. Most people struggle with, like, you know, the whole working out and getting in shape thing, right? That's why I forced myself to run a half Ironman before I was ready. That's why I forced myself to run a half marathon before I was ready, and the Ironman, because I put that out there and it forces me, oh, I got an Ironman in 90 days. Oh, I got to start learning how to swim, bike, and run, or I'm going to embarrass myself and not finish, or I'm going to cram as much training as I can into a short amount of time. I'm telling you, you need to have short-term targets. Like we had a short-term target for our sales team. I said, hey, the sales team, just 4 or 5 people do 6 figures in sales. I'm gonna take you guys to a nice restaurant, the nicest restaurant in Springfield, Missouri, or I can go out to dinner. Guess what? They hit it. That's a short-term target where you're pushing for that week or that month or those several weeks, right? I'm not talking quarters or semi-annual or annual. I'm talking short-term targets. And what you can do is you condense time. Time is the most valuable asset we have. It's also the sparsest asset we have. So you need to be freaking pushing and maximizing and draining and freaking condensing as much time as you possibly can. You put out there, here's a challenge to you. You put out there that you want to do something massive in the very near future, and you push yourself to do something huge in a short time window. Watch what freaking happens, all right? So set higher targets, focus on revenue, not expenses, maximize the workload of your team members, get more out of them, focus 80% of the time on prospecting, and have short-term targets and in the immediate future, and go freaking get them no matter what, okay? You do these 5 things in 2021 and every year after, and you have the biggest freaking year you've ever had. Now, the question is, will you go get it and implement these 5 things right away.